White made a move. On g4, pause the video to figure out black's next move. On takes g3 check. King takes g3. King f5. King f3. Rook a3 check. King g2. King takes f4. Rook d8. Rook a2 check. King h1. White is preparing to play. Pawn promotes to queen at a8. Rook takes a8. Rook takes a8 and establish a winning position. Rook takes a7 played by black. Rook d4 check. White's loss is confirmed. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. On g5, pause the video and try to predict white's next move. On takes g6 check. King g7. On a5. On h5. On a6. On h4. Bishop d5. On h3. King b6. White considers playing king takes c7 and establish a winning position. Rook d7 move preferred by black. Black intends to play rook takes d5 and take decisive advantage. Pawn a7 was chosen by white. Rook d6 check. King c7. White might go for king takes d6 and seize the initiative. Rook takes d5 move preferred by black. Pawn promotes to queen at a8. White intends to play queen takes d5 and establish a winning position. Rook d3. White is clearly ahead. Let's go to the next game. Black just played king c8. Pause the video and try to predict white's next move. King g5. Knight e8. King g6. King d7. King f7. White wants to play. On e6 check. King d8. On c5. Knight g7. King takes g7. King e7. Pawn takes b6. Pawn takes b6. Pawn b5 and gain a significant edge. King d8 move preferred by black. On c5. White is looking to play. On c6. On a6. King f8. Knight g7. King takes g7. King e7. King g6 and take decisive advantage. Pawn c6 played by black. Black is aiming to play. Pawn takes d5. Pawn takes b6. Pawn takes b6 and increase their advantage significantly. Pawn e6 was chosen by white. Pawn takes c5. Pawn e7 check. King d7. Pawn takes c6 check. King takes c6. King takes e8. Pawn takes b4. King d8. Pawn takes a3. Pawn promotes to queen at e8 check. King c5. Black is outplayed. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. Pawn takes h4. Pause the video to spot white's next move. Black is setting up to play. Pawn h3. Pawn c5 check. King c6. King e5. Pawn h2. King takes f5. Pawn promotes to queen at h1 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn takes h4 played by white. King c6. King e5. White is aiming to play king takes f5 and dominate the board. Pawn f4 played by black. King takes f4. Pawn b6. Black is aiming to play pawn takes a5 and take decisive advantage. Pawn takes b6 move preferred by white. King takes b6. King e4. King c6. Pawn f4. On a5. King d3. King d6. King c3. King e6. King b3. Pawn a4 check. King a3. King d6. King takes a 4. King e6. White has a strong upper hand. Let's go to the next game. White played knight d to check. Pause the video to find out black's response. Knight takes d2. King takes d2. On a4. On b4. On takes b3. On takes b3. On g5. On b4. On g4. On b5. King e5. On a4. On g3. Black's idea is to play on g2. On b6. On promotes to queen at g1 and dominate the board. On b6 move preferred by white. White is looking to play on b7. King d5. On promotes to queen at b8 and increase their advantage significantly. King d6 played by black. Black's idea is to play on g2. King d3. On promotes to queen at g1 and increase their advantage significantly. On a5 was chosen by white. King c6. King d3. On g2. Black is preparing to play pawn promotes to queen at g1 and seize the initiative. On a6 was chosen by white. King takes b6. On a7. King takes a7. King takes d4. Black has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. On b4. Pause the video to find out black's response. On takes b3. On takes b3. On takes g4. On takes g4. On h5. On f5. On takes g4. On takes g6. King f6. King f4. On the 5. King takes g4. King takes g6. King f4. On a4. Black intends to play pawn takes b3 and take decisive advantage. On takes a4 move preferred by white. On takes a4. King e3. On a3. On c4. On takes c4. King d2. On a2. King c3. On promotes to queen at a1 check. King takes c4. Black has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. King g7. Pause the video to figure out white's next move. Rook h7 check. King takes h7. Queen h1 check. King g8. Queen h6. Queen e7. Rook h1. White might go for queen h7 mate and gain a significant edge. On f5 played by black. On takes f6. King f7. Knight e5 check. King e8. Black's idea is to play queen takes f6 and seize the initiative. Pawn takes e7 was chosen by white. Bishop takes e7. Queen takes g6 check. King d8. Knight f7 check. Rook takes f7. Queen takes f7. Knight d7. Rook h8 check. Knight f8. Rook takes f8 check. Bishop takes f8. Queen takes f8 check. King d7. White has a strong upper hand. Let's go to the next game. Black played bishop f8. Pause the video to figure out white's next move. Queen g4 check. King h8. Queen e4. White is looking to play queen h7 mate and take decisive advantage. On f5 played by black. On takes f6. Knight takes f6. Queen g6. White's idea is to play queen takes f6 check and put immense pressure on the opponent. Queen d4 was chosen by black. Knight h5. White is aiming to play knight takes f6. Queen takes f2 check. King takes f2. Bishop c5 check. King f3. Rook f8. Queen takes h6 mate and take decisive advantage. Queen g4 move preferred by black. Queen takes f6 check. Bishop g7. Black wants to play queen takes h5 and seize the initiative. Knight takes g7 move preferred by white. Queen takes g7. Queen h4. On e5. Rook ac1. White is aiming to play rook c7. Queen takes c7. Queen takes h6 check. King g8. Bishop c4 check. Bishop e6. Bishop takes e6 check. Rook takes e6. Queen takes e6 check and take decisive advantage. Rook e7 played by black. Rook e3. Queen g5. Black is planning to play queen takes h4 and secure a stronghold in the game. Queen takes g5 was chosen by white. Pawn takes g5. Rook ce1. Bishop d7. Rook takes e5. Rook takes e5. Rook takes e5. Bishop c6. Black is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. White just played. On f4. Pause the video to spot black's next move. Pawn takes f3. King takes f3. King takes d4. Pawn h4. White might go for pawn takes g5 and seize the initiative. Pawn takes h4 was chosen by black. Pawn takes h4. Pawn c5. Pawn h5. White intends to play pawn h6. King c3. Pawn h7. King b2. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 check. King takes a 2. Queen c3 and take decisive advantage. King e5 move preferred by black. King e3. King f6. Black is aiming to play king g5. Pawn h6. King takes h6 and dominate the board. King f4 move preferred by white. Pawn c4. Black is planning to play pawn c3. King e3. Pawn b4. King d3. Pawn f4. Pawn a3. Pawn takes a3. King takes c3. King g5 and dominate the board. Pawn takes c4 played by white. Pawn takes c4. King e3. King g5. King d4. King takes h5. King takes c4. King g4. King b4. Pawn f4. King a5. Pawn f3. Pawn a4. King f5. King takes a6. King e6. Pawn a5. Pawn f2. Black might go for pawn promotes to queen at f1 check and secure a stronghold in the game. King b5 played by white. Pawn promotes to queen at f1 check. King b4. Black is dominating the board. Let's go to the next game. White played king d3. Pause the video to spot black's next move. Pawn g4. Black might go for pawn takes h3 and increase their advantage significantly. Pawn h4 played by white. Pawn h5. King e2. King e4. Pawn f3 check. Pawn takes f3 check. King f2. King d3. Black's idea is to play king e4. King e1. King takes e3 and seize the initiative. King takes f3 played by white. King d2. Black is planning to play king d3. King f4. King e2. King takes f5. King takes e3. Pawn g4. Pawn takes g4 and increase their advantage significantly. King f2 played by white. King d1. Black's idea is to play King d2. King f3. King e1. King f4. King f2. King takes f5. King takes e3. On g4. Pawn takes g4 and establish a winning position. King f3 was chosen by white. King e1. Black might go for King f1. King f4. King f2. King takes f5. King takes e3. On g4. Pawn takes g4 and establish a winning position. King f4 move preferred by white. King e2. Black is setting up to play King d2. King takes f5. King takes e3. On g4. Pawn takes g4 and secure a stronghold in the game. King takes f5 move preferred by white. King takes e3. On g4. White intends to play pawn takes h5 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn takes g4 played by black. On h5. On g3. On h6. On g2. On h7. Pawn promotes to queen at g1. Black is looking to play Queen g7. King e6. On d4. Pawn promotes to queen at h8. Queen takes h8 and take decisive advantage. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 move preferred by white. Queen f2 check. King e6. On d4. Black is aiming to play on d3. On a4. On d2. Queen e5 check. King d3 and gain a significant edge. On a4 move preferred by white. Pawn takes a4. Queen e8 white has no response. Let's go to the next game.